Hello, my name is Lindsay Geiser, and this is my presentation on Daniel, From the King's Palace to the Lion's Den. Daniel was a prince of Judah. When he was around 20 years old, Babylon invaded, and he and others were exiled to Babylon. The king, Nebuchadnezzar, asked his advisors to choose boys that were of the royal bloodline to be trained to serve in the king's court. Daniel was chosen along with his 3 friends known better by their Babylonian names, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Daniel and his 4 friends, when they got there, refused to eat the food that was given to them by the king because it was unclean and not kosher. They asked the servants just to feed them vegetables for 10 days. And after 10 days, they actually grew more healthy than the other trainees that were eating the meats from the king's table. God blessed these 4 for being obedient and keeping with his laws, and had them excel in their training and book knowledge and wisdom. Daniel was also additionally gifted with the ability to interpret visions and dreams. And at the end of their training, all 4 of them were chosen to be advisors to the king. Now, the king had had disturbing dreams and threatened to kill all of his advisors if his dreams were not interpreted. He had a dream of a large statue with a head of gold, arms of silver, a belly and thighs of brass, and legs of iron. Daniel interpreted this dream as being the rise and fall of the different empires over the years. Now, King Nebuchadnezzar's second dream showed a large tree that provided fruit for the whole world, but the tree is chopped down by a messenger of God. This dream is interpreted to forecast the king, Nebuchadnezzar's, insanity that happens. And it said that King Nebuchadnezzar became animal-like and lost his mind after bragging on all the goodness and great things that he'd done in his life. When he came back to his right mind, he bragged about God, whose kingdom will be eternal. Another story in the book of Daniel talks about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who were tossed into Nebuchadnezzar's furnace for refusing to worship a new statue of the king. This story I've always found inspiring because it gives us a first look at Jesus in the Old Testament. When they see the boys in the fire, they don't just see the 3 of them, they see the 4 of them, that Jesus was with them. One of the last and most famous stories of Daniel was after the fall of the Babylonian Empire, and when Persia took over, Daniel earned the same favor with the king of Persia as he had with the king of Babylon. And this favor that he had caused jealousy with the other advisors of the king. So they plotted to have Daniel killed by having the king decree that for 30 days everyone must pray only to the king. Well, of course, Daniel refused to do that and was going to always pray to God. This got him thrown into the lion's den because that was the decree. If you don't pray to the king, you will be eaten by lions. Now, God protected Daniel, and he was not eaten by the lions. And both the advisors were then in turn thrown into the lion's den for tricking the king, because the king loved Daniel, and they were immediately eaten by the lions. So this shows that they suffered this fate that they had planned for Daniel.